Hi, Chad here. Welcome to another episode of Common Good Cocktail Guide. Today we're going to learn another cocktail recipe, but you're going to be learning from cocktail extraordinaire, Mike Melazzo, one of the owners here. And he's going to teach you how to make a sidecar, but instead of just using the classic ratio like we did with the old fashioned and with some others, he's going to teach you how he makes his sidecar, how he tweaks the classic ratio of 1.5 brandy to 1 orange liqueur to 1 lemon, and he makes it a little bit more modern, a little bit more updated, one that fits his palate perfectly, and hopefully you'll enjoy it at home as well. Cheers.
Hello everyone, welcome to Common Good Cocktail House. So today we're going to learn together a couple things. We're going to learn primarily about the sidecar, how to make a sidecar. And then you'll also learn a couple techniques, I think, that apply to a lot of shaken cocktails, not just this one. So to start, our tools, you want to have your shaker, you want to have your measure, your jigger. I use a 2 ounce and a 1 ounce. You can also use a Japanese style jigger that has the measures on the inside. We have our ingredients, which I'll go over in a second, and our other tools. So we have a Hawthorne strainer, it's this guy here, and then a mesh strainer. You want to strain with both, because it'll keep the cocktail from having ice chips in it, things that are undesirable. It'll give it the finish you want and keep it from being, cluttered. So to start, let's build our cocktail. The base spirit in this one is cognac. We're cheating today. We're not using a cognac, we're using an Armagnac, which is a close cousin to cognac. You could definitely substitute Armagnac for cognac in this context, which is what we're gonna do. So we're gonna start with 2 ounces of the Armagnac. I always build in the smaller shaker, put ice in this one. You'll see how that works in a second. But we're gonna do 2 ounces of the Armagnac. Whoop. And then we're gonna do about an ounce or a fat 3/4 ounce of Cointreau. The Cointreau, it's a spirit, it's alcoholic. It's a liqueur, but it's in this case not acting as the base spirit that the Armagnac is, it's acting as our sweetener. And the cool thing about this in this cocktail is it's not just a basic sweetener. Some cocktails will call for simple syrup. This cocktail is fun because not only is the Cointreau adding the sweetness we want to balance out the lemon juice, the acidity from this, but it's bringing its own flavors as well. Obviously the orange flavor into it. And then we're gonna do about 3/4 ounces of lemon juice, fresh lemon juice. We'll stop here for a second because you might be saying, Mike, this cocktail, spirit, Cointreau, and citrus, that sounds similar. Spirit, orange liqueur, citrus. It is very similar to a margarita, right? Margarita would be base spirit tequila, and then triple sec, another orange liqueur, and then lime juice instead of lemon juice. Gosh, those sound very similar. The dirty secret of cocktails is they don't come from nowhere. Cocktails aren't created ex nihilo for the theologians out there. They come from somewhere. And so as you start to, especially shaken cocktails, you start to work through them, you realize there's a lot of similarity. I think that what that can show you is, if you're working at home, you can maybe take one of those ingredients and sub it out because it's very similar. You might have a different cocktail, but you'll have a delicious cocktail, something that's workable. So an example, if you had triple sec at home, you could sub that in. If you're like, well, I don't have cognac at home, but I have like a eau de vie fruit brandy or something, you could sub that in. Is it gonna be exactly a classic sidecar? No, but it'll be delicious. And you'll notice as you get into other shaken cocktails, whiskey sours, daiquiris, things like that, that similarity. And that should show you that there's kind of a structure, a flow to how these cocktails, they're all a little bit different, but you can see how they branch from one another, and that gives you a little freedom at home to experiment if you'd like to. But today we're gonna stick to the sidecar. So we have our 3 ingredients. So we have that built in the small shaker. We're gonna take our big one here, and we're gonna take some ice. Sometimes people ask, like, how much ice should I put in there? They're really worried about it. You don't wanna overfill the shaker. You don't want too much. You also don't want too little. About like 5 or 6 cubes. You get it built, you get it sealed, and then the thing you want to think about is you want to aerate it. You're not just trying to mix the liquor, you're really trying to break up that ice, move it back and forth, short, violent, hard shake. So let's shake. And then immediately, as soon as possible when you're done shaking, you want to get it in the glass so that aeration's there. And you'll see what I'm talking about here. See how it's cloudy? And you see how, if you were here, you could see it's got a little head on it. Almost like when you pour a fresh Guinness or something, it's got that little head that's settling. There's no egg white or anything in there providing that. That's just the violence of the shake. So if you're at home and you shake and you're like, did I shake it enough? And you pour it and it's just flat, start again. You really want to get that hard shake because that's going to make all the difference. That's delicious.